Hey guys, Stephanie Franklin here, and this is the third video in the Partner Getting Prospecting series. In this video, I'm going to go over how to respond to the incoming emails after you send out all your prospecting blast of emails. People are going to reply to them, ask you for more information. They're going to ask you pricing, how does it work? They're going to ask you quite a few questions, and I'm going to go over how to respond to that, how to answer that, answer all their questions, make them feel comfortable working with you, that you're professional, you're going to do a good job for them. I'm also going to go over how to handle incoming phone calls, and I'm going to include several recordings of me taking the incoming phone calls, how I talk to the prospect, how I explain PPL to them, and show them what an amazing opportunity it is. I am also going to go over the follow-up calls and what to do in the follow-up calls, how to, leave messages so you get them returned, how to talk to or get in front of the decision maker with your follow-up calls. So, okay, let's get started. So last week I sent out about 1,000 emails, and you do not have to do this many. This was just for an example, and I've worked my way up to this. So I started out with 50 emails in my prospecting blast, and then I worked up my way up to 100 and 300, and now we do quite a few when we do a prospecting round. And it's just a numbers game. The more that you send out, the more responses you're going to get, the more interested people you're going to get, and the more partners in a shorter amount of time. So you can tell my VAs were very busy. I had them scraping emails for about 2 weeks to get this number of emails to send out, and they did an amazing job. They follow exactly what I showed you in video 1, how to do the contact submission form and then get scrape the reply email that they use when they answer, your question when you submit the contact form. So anyways, you can see they went out kind of staggered on the different days, and I think it was just because there was so many that I sent out that Aweber slowed down. I think they have a limit per day how many they send out for an account. Anyways, I use Aweber. There's a lot of different mail platforms you can use. I've used ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, GetResponse, Constant Contact. I've used all of them. They're all really good. All of them work for whatever you need. So it's just your personal preference. So let's dive a little deeper and let's go into one of the campaigns. Out of the 1,000 emails, there was about 13 different verticals that we targeted and campaigns that we targeted. So you can see on the 17th, many was sent out or opened, and then they were continuously opened over the last couple days. We have quite and I always like to dive deeper and see, what time of day were they opening? Did they open it immediately when I send it? Usually when you send these out, people are going to call you within an hour, and you're just going to get slammed with phone calls. So the first 2 hours are really busy with people picking up the phone and calling you, and then also replying to your email, shooting you back an email, asking you questions. So just get ready for that, and it's really exciting when you start seeing results after you send out your email blast. I like to dig a little bit deeper and see how many times each one of my prospects open the email. And this is a really good judge or a really good indicator to tell you who is going to reach out and call you or send you an email. So definitely I can tell you right now that the top 6 people reached back, gave me a phone call or shot me an email, wanted more information, and 3 of them turned into partners so far. And I have a lot more follow-up to do with the rest of them because follow-up is so, so important. The people that opened it more than 5 times and didn't reach out to me, didn't send me an email, didn't give me a phone call, are going to receive a follow-up call from me at least 3 times over the next week. And I'm going to keep doing the follow-up calls until they tell me to leave them alone or that they want more information. They're also going to receive another follow-up email from me, because they're obviously interested. Everyone's really busy. Everyone gets distracted and has, things going on with their business. So it's very easy for them to open their email, get distracted, come back to it, get distracted. So you definitely need to take that next step and reach out to them and provide them with more information and just see, if you can get a hold of them. If you can get a hold of them, they usually love talking to you. They're so happy you called them. They want more information. They'll ask you a ton of questions. So don't be afraid to do it. It's totally worth it, and it's actually really fun. So the next step after when someone calls you or sends you an email and wants more information, then you need to add them into your Pipedrive. you need to just add a deal and create a new deal for whatever their name was and their business name. And then I just make the value whatever the lead price was that we discussed, or the starting point for the lead price that I usually do. So $50 for repairs, $150 or $100 for install leads. So you can see that these guys are in different stages of the sales funnel. And Pipedrive is really cool. Like it's so visual. I love it. You can just drag and drop, and you can do your work one day, come back the next day. You know exactly where you are. It's not a spreadsheet where things can get kind of like lost or deleted on accident or kind of convoluted. This is so straightforward. You can set tasks, you can set activities, you can set due dates. It's really good. So I definitely recommend it. You're not going to lose anyone through any pipes or any pipes. You're not going to lose anyone through any cracks if you do this, if you use Pipedrive. So you will find that after you receive the initial, contact from them, the call, the email, you're going to send them more information, and I'll show you the email that I send out to them. It's very simple, explains what PPL is very clearly. And then after that, you're going to follow up with them, ask them, would you like to move forward? That's when I move them over here and then to the agreement sent. And usually they say, yeah, let me see your agreement. I want to read it before I agree or want to sign up with you guys. So I usually send them an agreement, or they're like, yeah, let's move forward, send me an agreement, I want to get started right away. So that's how I track them. I would just move them over, agreement sent. And people are going to get kind of hung up here in the either the prospect follow-up because they still get busy. They are interested. Don't get discouraged. They're still interested until they tell you to stop. So keep following up with them, send them an agreement, and then this is also another place where they can get hung up is sending the agreement back to you. So once again, it's an extra step that they have to go out of their way to do. I found that faxing it back to me works really well, and I know that's super outdated, but a lot of the home service guys and even like more professional services, they still use fax machine a lot, which is really interesting. You can also do use a site, formsite.com, where you can do online web form and they can go online and fill it out. I've started doing that and seen some mixed results with it to see if people use it or not. It depends, how busy they are and if they have 5 minutes to get it back to you. So you definitely have to keep following up with them every day and bug them and bother them until they get it back to you. Once I receive the agreement back from them, I add them to my CRM, and I use Insightly right now, which seems to be working really good. And I send them a welcome email, and the welcome email contains a login to their personal call tracking dashboard, so they can log in and listen to their calls that they receive. They seem to really, really like that. And the welcome email also, explains how the process, it restates what we covered, like how the process is going to work. Every Friday we're going to go through all their calls, check with them, let them know that they got 3 good calls, see if they have any discrepancies, and then let them know what number of calls are going to be billed for. Just kind of making sure that everything is clear, answering any questions because they're going to forget things or have more questions. And so the welcome email is just to kind of bridge that gap, make sure that everyone's on the same page, that they have the login information, and then to answer any more questions that they have. So yeah, after you send out the email, then you add them to Insightly. Here's Insightly. I highly recommend that you get some kind of CRM to use. This one works really good. It's pretty cheap. I've also used, Asana. There's so many different ones out there that you can use. It's just your personal preference once again. So you can check it out and see which one's going to work best for you. So here's an example, Mr. Dennis Harrison. And you can see about him is going to be all his contact information, any notes that I have about him. He's a commercial residential roofing contractor, and the areas he works, what kind of leads he wants, what prices the leads, and when he joined, so I can kind of keep track of how many partners we added each month. You can do his history, which is just, if you have a VA working in here or a customer service rep working in here, you can see exactly what was done to the account, and everything's very clear, and there's a trail of what went on. Any emails, you can send and receive emails from Insightly, which is really, really awesome. So you can just, click send, send from your domain email address, please, and it'll be recorded in his account. And then you can also BCC any emails that you send to your Insightly account, and they'll be attached to the individual clients. Then notes, any notes. So sent welcome email, welcome and login info. Any files, you would attach the agreement here, just so in case something happens to your computer, at least you have a backup on your CRM. And then I always set tasks, and I set tasks for the first email to go out, send the welcome email, and log into the dashboard. When that's done, then I just check it off, and it goes into the history, and I can log in and see who's received their welcome email, and then who still needs to receive it. And then I also schedule like a weekly update, and this is a recurring task. So once a week, every Thursday or Friday, we're going to reach out to them, send them some information, ask them how the calls went, get their opinion, like ask them if they have any questions or suggestions on the leads, if they got like some bad leads that week. So we can adjust the campaigns or do something a little differently. And then maybe they do a whole nother service that we've never talked about, and this comes up all the time, like, oh, maybe we do mobile repair too, or maybe we do siding or fencing or something like that, and never came up before, and now they want to talk about it because they trust you a little bit more. So definitely touch base with them every week, especially when you start the campaigns. And they're not going to, if you don't have leads coming in already, and it's going to take you like a week to set up the campaign or 2 weeks for them to start getting calls, you need to, touch them at least once a week. Let them know that you haven't dropped off the face of the earth. They're going to be wondering what's going on. Give them an update. Tell them the campaign is going great. It's still on schedule. Like everything's looking good. So it definitely helps build the relationship and builds the communication between you and your partners as you start doing this. So I also like to tag my partners as I add them in Insightly, which is really neat. So I can sort by partners in Texas or the roofing partners, and then I also like to put what kind of services they do in there. So if one of our sites starts, getting calls for commercial roofing in Texas, and we're not sending those calls anywhere, then we have someone to send them to. We can search it really easy. Or if someone that we're talking to needs to send, like, is getting leads in but doesn't have anyone to send them to, then I can go through my database and see, oh yeah, I have a roofer in Texas. We can totally take your leads, and work together. So it's a really easy system. It also helps them just keep track of what's going on, and it's very visual, easy to find. So let's go over the email responses and what people send to us, or send to us and send to me. Here's some example emails that come in, and just so you guys know what to expect, usually they're really short worded emails. Sure, how does it work? Like really open-ended, so it gives you a lot of space to explain what PPL is in your follow-up email and answer any questions that they have. And you're usually going to go back and forth quite a bit through email if they email you in the first place and they don't just call you. So you find out that emailing is their preferred way to communicate. And so a lot of them you're just going to close through email and probably not even talk to them before you close them. A lot of them will eventually call you, or you will, schedule a time to call them and to talk and go over everything. So you can see here's another really short response. And they also want to know, like, a lot of them are just going to ask, what's your cost per lead? Like they think that you're just like Home Advisor, so you really have to go out of your way and explain that you are not like Home Advisor. Totally different setup, and how much more valuable your services are. So, and I will include these responses in a template for you guys to use any way that you want to modify, just to help you reply. So if they don't ask for a price per lead, I don't usually put it in the response to them, because I want to get them on the phone and talk to them and just kind of feel them out, like let them know I'm a real person, I'm here to talk to them, and it kind of helps break the barrier a little bit better than just throwing a price per lead in there, because sometimes it's going to be a shock to them because they're used to paying for really crappy leads and probably not that high of a price. So you have to definitely build value into it. But you can see the response. I always try to let them know when I'll be available for them to reach out to me. And then I let them know that we can set them up in 24 hours to start getting phone calls. Now, sometimes that's not true. If we don't have leads coming in already, then it can definitely take a little bit longer. Jan asked me the price per lead, so I'm not going to ignore her question in the email, but I still try to get her to call me so we can talk about it. And you can see I cover like no deposit. All calls are exclusive to your business. All calls are live calls, transfer directly to your business. I just go over the main bullet points and then shoot her this email. Usually they'll either respond back or they'll give me a call and they still want to talk about it and answer any questions over the phone. So, and you can see I pretty much use the same template, just copy paste it. Otherwise, if you don't have a template to use, writing out this every single time is going to take a lot of time. So make sure that you have a template you can use and just, modify it so it doesn't seem like a template. Like, definitely answer any specific questions that they have. Take the time. It's going to pay off. Like, if they realize that you're a real company or a real person, you want to help them, it's a great opportunity for them. You'll definitely get some partners out of it. So um, that is pretty much it. Definitely listen to the follow-up calls I'm going to make, or the follow-up recording calls I'm going to attach to the program, and then also the incoming calls that I receive and how I explain PPL to the prospects. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that it really helps you take your prospecting to the next level. I know that it can be hard and kind of confusing in the beginning, but you're absolutely going to get the hang of it. You can absolutely do it. Don't give up. Like, this is one of I enjoy this part the most. I enjoy prospecting. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be in the PPL Army answering any of them, and more than happy to fill in any blanks that I missed, or if you need more information on any part of this, I'm more than happy to help you. So, all right, good luck out there and go get some partners. Thanks, guys. Bye.